Vandal.
What's up?
Vandal Don Drako.
What's happening, man? What's up, August?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's a blessing.
Hey, man, you ain't got to be too humble for the camera. I'm just playing. He really is like, you have this humble tone about you since like the second I met you.
Thank you.
And even going into this conversation, right? I do want to learn where that humility comes from. But to be honest with you, I'm a 30-year-old man trying to make my dreams happen. You just told me you were 22. You got your own business going. You're an artist yourself. You work with a bunch of artists. You built a team. I want to know, like, for real, where did all this start for you? Like, take us as far back as you can.
Man, I think it started from me being in high school and not having a lot of friends and really just trying to fit in with everybody. You know, if I'm being honest, I really wanted to be included in things, but I felt like I was ostracized, like, out of groups and stuff in my school. And I wanted to make music because I was lonely and I didn't have, like, I didn't have anybody to talk to. So I would actually, I think I started recording on a Snowball Blue mic. You know what those are?
Yeah.
Way back in the USB one. And I started recording on Audacity, and I kind of taught myself how to mix a little bit, but I had no idea what I was doing half the time.
Audacity, bro. That's the OG.
If
That's
you know,
everyone
you know.
starts, yeah.
If you're a real artist, you know about Audacity. You know that we all start somewhere, and Audacity is probably where a lot of the real artists start.
Shout out Audacity.
Shout out Audacity. I don't even think it's a supported software anymore, but I don't know.
I think it's still out there, but I don't think it's as because everything is so accessible now.
Yeah,
like no one really goes to it.
This is like what 2016, 2017. I was doing this, and I would make music. I would put it out on SoundCloud, and people would just, I got my name Vandal from when I was in middle school in Texas, in San Antonio. And right. I think I had another interview where I told this, but I'll say it again. My name comes from me doing some vandalism in my school bathroom for like 2 months straight. Okay. And I actually caught a charge for it because they caught on, and they have cameras aiming at the bathroom. They would see us going during our lunch with me and a bunch of friends, and we'd take the soap dispensers off the wall. We'd throw the toilet paper everywhere. We would get spray paint, Sharpies, and we just mark it up in there. And I caught a vandalism charge for that, and my whole middle school found out. And they're like, everybody started calling me Vandal from then. That was like my name. It was given to me. I never asked for it. And it kind of just stuck, like, as like a persona in almost a way. And it's weird because it stuck with me to the point that, like, everything I do, like when you look at graffiti, I see like who that person is, like their personality. I could tell, you know what I mean? And
artistic expression.
It leaks out, you know what I mean? And it's messy, but like sometimes messy can be good. It's chaotic, but there's, in a weird way, there's also order to it because it's beautiful. Right.
Yeah. What I like about graffiti in particular as an art form is that, painters, they'll get a canvas, and it's almost like they're supposed to paint there. Maybe not paint whatever it is they're painting. Some people are very rebellious when it comes to their art, but graffiti by itself, you need a massive canvas that most times are like a bathroom wall, like the wall of a school, a wall of a building, and other people are looking at it like, man, look at these fucking thugs or whatever the fuck they want.
Totally
to say,
misunderstood.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. It's like they're misunderstanding the art form. They're not appreciating it, So what I want to know is, I'm the kind of guy that likes to dig a little deeper, all right? So you said that you were making music in high school almost to be accepted, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then in middle school, you were vandalizing, you were graffitiing.
I was actually doing that, yeah.
Right. So do you feel like there was when you were younger, do you feel like there was like a void inside of you that you couldn't understand?
Honestly, I remember the first rap song I ever listened to, and I was like 12. And I think I started. Let me just turn this off real quick.
I was like, hey, I don't know if someone's on the phone with this guy or what.
I remember the first rap song that I listened to. It was Eminem. It was Rap God, and
that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm a little late boomer in the hip hop scene.
It's all good,
but it just changed. I remember in middle school, it changed everything for me, and I was like I felt so connected to it. I would listen to music doing everything, playing video games, being outside, even in the middle of school, I'd put on my headphones and I'd just be, I didn't want to listen to nothing else because it was like, it felt like relatable. It was therapy.
Right.
I never felt like I was going to do music at that time, but you know, I was getting in a lot of trouble. I was being really reckless. I was fucking around. I wasn't really being, and it was hard. I had a single mom. Like she was raising me and my sister in like a 2-bedroom apartment. It was really hard for her. And I don't know if I had enough time for my mom growing up, like enough affection. So I think I would turn to like doing shit, bad things with a lot of younger kids my age. And, you know, it was a form of escapism. So I was listening to music. But come around like high school years, you know, like I would listen to all this music and I'd be like I felt like I could do it. And, you know, I think when you first started, you could probably relate to this too. You're like, you listen to one of your first songs, you're like, that's private now.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to hear that.
Ain't nobody gonna hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I go on SoundCloud and it's like almost like 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And I'm like, I look at it and I listen to it and I'm like, wow. And I listen to one of my recent songs and I'm like,
evolution.
It's a progression and it's a real thing.
Yeah.
If you believe in something, you manifest it, you achieve it, and the only currency that really matters is time. Money comes and goes, women come and go, problems come and go, happiness comes and go, but time doesn't. Time is the one thing that you're actually really limited to. So whatever you do with your time, and the time that I've been given on this planet in this existence, I felt like I know what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? And that came to me very early on. And it's just been kind of locked in with me ever since.
And I appreciate that perspective because, you know, statistically speaking, I don't got the stats right in front of me, but like statistically speaking, I would assume that a lot of people who grew up in single parent households, particularly without a father, especially if they're exhibiting behavior that like yourself, like you're vandalizing, even if it is artistic expression, you're vandalizing shit, right? You're getting in trouble. And now here you are with, you speak very profoundly. I want to know from that high school moment. So you make your first song around probably like 14, 15, I'm assuming.
15, yeah.
Right. And now you're 7 years later, 22 years old. We're not in Texas. We're out in California. You got your own business. Walk me through from high school to now. What was the journey to get to that point?
So you got to keep in mind, I graduated during the pandemic. And a lot of stuff happened for me within the span of 2 years because I was like, my sophomore year is when COVID-19 happened. And half of my high school experience, it was online. The beginning half wasn't really pleasant because I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't have really a group of people to hang out with, to socialize with. So I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do because I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to go to the military. Like, I grew up with my dad later on in life, but in the beginning I didn't. So I feel like I get a lot of education from him. But he would always be like, oh, go be a firefighter, go be a policeman, go be in the military, like just some generic ass shit. So like, but it was nothing I felt like I could do. But music was always like in the back of my mind. And I felt like from like freshman to sophomore year, I was kind of ridiculed for trying to make music. And I still remember this one conversation I had with somebody. I was like, why don't you listen to my music? And they're like, I would, bro, but your music's not on streaming platforms.
What?
Yeah, like your music's not on Apple Music or Spotify and like or YouTube, so I don't.
So they weren't saying it's bad; it's just not accessible to them.
I felt like they were saying it because they wanted to have a reason not to listen to it.
An excuse. They were looking for a reason.
An excuse. And the next day, I came up to him and I'm like, hey, guess what? My music's gonna be on Apple Music now, and that's when I found out about distribution. And I believe that was 2018. Because I can look all the way back from my distro kit and I can see where it started. And I remember I was like, I started putting out my singles and I started seeing it showing up on Apple Music and Spotify. And now I could show it on Instagram stories. I could see it on YouTube. And I was just like, holy crap, this is like a whole different, like, it's going somewhere now.
Yeah.
It's not just on one platform.
Exposure.
It's exposure. And it was exposing itself. And fast forward to COVID when it happened, everybody got really disconnected. I'm sure you remember everybody was kind of just in the house. It was, you know, I was very secluded again. And I was just like, okay, this is weird. What am I going to do? I spent a lot of time refining myself and learning who I was and who I wanted to be. And I actually got involved with a lot of psychedelics. Now, I don't know what your stance is on this, but for me, I dabbled with a lot of crazy things when I was doing this. And I remember my OG homie, his name OGJ, his name's Justin, but he gave me LSD. And I like before I did it, I wanted to understand what it was, and I researched it, and I would read online, like on Reddit, with all these people having experiences and what they saw and what they did and how they felt, and it was like just like a super like really positive thing. So I did it, and I remember when I did that, I had like a religious experience. Like it changed my personality, it changed my perception of me and myself, and I felt like it. You know, like when a phone gets an update, it works better.
Right.
That's what it felt like for me.
Really?
Yeah, and it opened a part of my brain where I was like so more in tune to like God and just like more. I was like I felt more creative. Like music flowed a lot more naturally, and now I think not everybody will have that experience. So I'm not saying that it's like that for everybody, but for me, it was super beneficial, and I really, really wanted to take music seriously at that point.
Okay.
I felt like that music was all that. It was really the only thing that's been there with me, and it was the biggest form of therapy. You know, because I could do drugs, I could drink alcohol at an early age. It was accessible for me, but music was my biggest painkiller.
Man,
For sure.
so it's crazy how, that experience you had with LSD, that would be something that a lot of people say, well, I've never had this experience before, so therefore I'm going to keep going to this. But you had that experience and said, nah, music is my calling.
Yeah.
Right?
It showed me. It made me feel like I'm here for music. My path was like I didn't know what my path was before that. I felt like I wanted to do music as a hobby. It took all the foundation, broke down the house, and built
Made
a brand
it clear.
new, and straight up told me this is what you exist for. This is why you're gonna be a lot more successful than people, and you're gonna grow a lot more faster because all the distractions secluded. You know what you need to do. You dive through that middle and you die about it. So
I respect that.
Yeah.
This experience you had, was it you were still in Texas at the time?
this was in California.
This was in California.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So this was after you graduated.
This is before.
Before you graduated.
Yeah, I was 17 when I had this experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you graduated out here in
Graduated
California.
out here, yeah.
Got you, man.
Yeah.
What was, before we get into, actually no, we got to keep it on the timeline because you have this mental clarity, right?
Yeah.
How do we go from Vandal saying, all right, this is what I'm meant to do, to now I own a studio? Like, what were the steps to get
So
there?
that's a little bit out there, but before that, right after I had those experiences and I learned a little bit more about myself, I started writing hella music. I started going to the studio nonstop. I started recording music. I started releasing more music. I started doing more. I found out about doing music videos, so I started doing that. I started promoting it on my social media and just trying to get as much exposure as I could. Like I used to be insecure to post stuff on my social media, but after that, all the restraints were gone. Like
Why?
I didn't care.
Why were you insecure?
I was worried that I would get judged for what I was doing,
Mhm.
and people would look down on me, and it'd be like, "Oh, why are you doing that?" And that was before I had that experience. Like I felt like I wanted to care about what people thought about me, and then after I had that experience, I was like, "Fuck these bitches, man! I'm on. Like, you can love or hate me. I'm still gonna do what I
Right.
gotta do to get my money and to be happy, because you can't rely on someone else to make you happy. You
No,
can't.
bro.
can't.
Everyone's opinions are so fucking fickle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
They'll love you when you're doing good and hate you when you're down.
exactly, bro. There's that, but there's also this thing of like, I learned this very recently. Your worth is not defined by the good or the bad things that people say about you,
Right.
right? Because put it this way, if I make a song and I know it's good, I'm like, dude, I want people to hear this. I put it out and it only gets one stream. Is it still a bad song?
No,
I don't think so.
that's where marketing comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like now, objectively, you can have bad marketing.
Right.
That's just objective.
I think on social media, you go right now, go find a random reel, and there's a song that's blowing up that is terrible. They're running it up because they know how the algorithm works. They know how to get it in people's feed, and they know if they spam it enough times with quality content and it's engagive and it's 15 seconds long, it's over. It's wrapped. Now you got 1 million streams on Spotify or Apple Music, and now you got a major label because they don't care about art. They just care about numbers, and they want to make more numbers and more money because that helps them. I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm paying a lot of money for people to do this for me, engineering, producing, and I was just like, it's not that hard. I had a buddy named Brandon. Shout out BTZ. That's my brother for life.
BTZ?
BTZ, yeah. His name is BTZ Brandon. Really good people. And he's actually not even on social media no more. He just be out the way, but he works at the studios still. He taught me how to use FL Studio, taught me how to record on FL Studio, and I remember we started using presets at first, and I was a fast learner, and I really wanted to learn how to record myself, and this is like what? End of 2021, start of 2022. And I learned the skill really quick, and it started off in my room, and then it went to my garage, and then from my garage we got kicked out because it was too loud. We couldn't do it. Our neighbors were complaining. I actually found a slot right next to the 49er stadium. It was like this office building, and
It's Santa Clara or San Francisco?
Santa Clara,
Okay, gotcha.
Santa Clara, and literally like 2 minutes away from the 49er stadium. It was this crazy spot. And it was like this cleaning lady's like random shack that she had in her office building, and I was using it there. And at this point, I didn't have any customers. I didn't have any clients. I didn't have a huge network. I was still doing performances and open mics at Tank Shit. Or I guess you could say Tank Shop. And it was cool because I was doing like recording for people for $25 an hour, and I was doing off FL. But during this time frame, I recorded probably every single day for like 2 years straight. And I made songs every day that were hard. Some of them even get dropped. Like some of them might be getting dropped like within the next year or so. You know,
Right.
I made so much music, just going over so much material, and all of it was real. And you know, I call it like just the creative years of learning everything.
Right, just stacking your knowledge, stacking the music.
Yeah.
So tell me, during that process, right? One of the things you said was you didn't have clients at first, right?
No.
How did you get clients?
Well, I would go to open mics. I would meet other artists. I would kind of give them the rundown. I'd be like, yo, I got this spot. I'm recording. I charge this much an hour. I'll mix and master your stuff. Kind of. I didn't know how to do it, but I would definitely make it sound good. And most importantly, I wanted to make music with them. So I would make music with them first, and then if they liked what I did for them, they would eventually just come back and hit me up. And I worked with so many people from just that first location. A couple months later, we get kicked out of that spot. We do a music video shoot for Ash Fantastic with me and the real DeVay.
Mm-hmm.
He's an R&B singer. He's really dope. Shout out DeVay. He's actually been to Japan with me a couple times. He's like a brother.
Okay. Shout out DeVay.
Shout out DeVay. Yeah. He'll probably love to do this too. But we shot a music video. There were so many bitches that kept coming in and out, and they have cameras in there. So like the landlord that owned that whole residential area, or not residential, the commercial area.
Mm-hmm.
He would see on his, like, he would get alert, and he would text my landlord, and she was like, yo, what's going on? Do you guys got like fucking like escorts coming in and out? Like, she didn't know what it was. These were just, these were random women that just showed up to our music video. They weren't escorts, but they thought that. They thought anything bad. They thought like a black person coming through was like some like hood.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were hardcore racist, and
but you didn't find out until this.
No, dude, not. And like there was one of the other like guys that was renting in that same area. I remember I saw him come out with his phone. He was recording us while we're shooting the music because we had cars outside and we had women and stuff like that. And you know, it was late at night. Like, it shouldn't be a big deal, but they made it a big deal. So we got kicked out the next week. And it turns out that I got connected to another landlord, and this is at Box Studio 1. This is on 907 East Wayne. Mm-hmm. And that landlord, I told him, I gave him the rundown. So this is what I do. It may be loud. I'm super compliant. I'll be, super discreet. And he's like, yeah, man, just pay me on the first every month. It's all good. Do whatever you want. And and I've been there for 2.5 years now.
Okay.
And that's where we're at right now. And actually, a little bit later, a year, maybe 2 years later, I got box 2, and we've been renovating an office building and building it, insulating it, sound treating it, soundproofing it to the point where you can clap in there, you don't hear anything.
That's fire.
It's really good.
That's like that.
Yeah. We're all really happy about it.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations on your success, man. So I want to be clear. You started by yourself completely, right?
Yeah.
So tell me what it was like to build a team.
They all came at different points and sequences of the studio. It was me originally, me and Brandon at first, but Brandon was just helping me learn and helping
BTZ.
me. BTZ Brandon.
Right.
Eventually, I think really the first person that came along was Hoodie. He messaged me from like this random account. Didn't know any people that I knew, didn't have any followers. He's like, "Hey, are you looking for any interns at your studio?" And at that point, I was just like, I didn't have a lot of sessions. I was kind of by myself doing this, and I was just like, you know what? I think I do want some help. I think there's something that I could do with him. And he kind of became my prodigy. He learned FL super quick, was super smart, and he was also studying sound engineering on his own. He really wanted to do this, and he used me to get access to everything. And I remember he was going to university in Santa Clara. He was going to Santa Clara, and he would drop everything to come record and make some money and to learn and to be around and network and connect. And he was so diehard about it, and like I've always been diehard about my music and my studios, and just it's passionate. When I meet passionate people, like they're super distinct. He was the first one that really came around, and a little bit fast forward on, he actually went to school for engineering afterwards. He got certifications and degrees, and he became official. And he's probably one of the best engineers I've ever worked with now. And he came from us.
Damn.
And then there's Telescape. Telescape came. So sometimes we would host car shows at our studio.
Car shows?
Yeah,
that's fire.
Yeah, we would host car meets, and like I'm talking, this is like a 200 slot parking lot packed out. They have vendors there selling stuff, drinks, food, and hosted by us. And one day he went to one of these car meets randomly, didn't know him or anything he did, and one of my guys, K24. He's one of the producers we work with. He finds this guy, brings him in. He's like, "Yo, this guy produces all crazy. This guy makes really dope music." I'm like, "Who is he?" And he's, I didn't think anything of it at first. He's like, "Yeah, man, I would be down to work at a studio." And I was like, "Wow, okay." I mean, didn't really think too much of it. It kind of like I meet people sometimes, they come and go, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's nice to meet you." I greet them, A little bit later on, he texted me on my studio page, like maybe 6 months later from that point of me meeting him. He's like, "Hey, if you're still interested, I still would like to work at your studio. I'd be down to become an intern." And I was like, "You know what? We're starting to get a little bit more clients. I kind of do need help." So I took him in, and bro was actually more advanced than anybody I knew at that time.
Wow.
He was an amazing producer, an amazing engineer, and he was using FL. And it was like a weird synchrony moment because he needed me when I needed him too. And sometimes we talk about it. He's like, "Bro, I was at the point where I wanted to give up music." Not me. He wanted to give up music because he's like, "I just don't see the point of me doing this anymore." And it's just like, he's like, "But I came around the studio and it changed everything." And in the weirdest way for me, like when you hear somebody say that their dreams and goals were about to give up and then you kind of reignited it for them, it's the biggest blessing, bro. Like sometimes that shit makes me want to cry because I'm like, what I'm doing right now made you want to keep going and believing that you can do what you need to do. It's gotten to the point where I helped him and he helps me now. And now he's like one of the main engineers at the studios, and he runs a lot of sessions, and he actually is a really talented producer. So that's Telescape. Gmo kind of came in almost at the end of everything. I mean, I wouldn't say the end because we're still going strong.
When you were already established.
Yeah. When we're like rolling and we're doing a lot of stuff. We hosted an open mic at my studio, and I wasn't the main host. It was one of my videographers, Taimani, shout out Cool Prod. He showed up with some random artists, and it was a $200 contest. People could win $200 for the best performance. And I met him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a producer. My name's Gmo. I worked with these people and this." was like, oh, cool. I passed it to the side. I didn't think anything of it at first. I was
Well,
just
you
like,
meet so many people.
I meet a lot of people. Yeah. And like I don't take anything for granted. Like I always something always makes me reach out back to them. And he texted me a little bit later. He's like, yo, let me know if you're down to cook up. He's like, your music's tough. And I linked up with him and I learned about him. And that was end of October, beginning of November. And me and him have been like brothers ever since. Like he locked in. He actually became one of the investors. All the guys I worked there are investors. So they own a percentage of the studios now because they put money in for it. And we actually have a lot more investors now than just them. But he invested, and he's probably one of the most hardest working engineers that I've ever met. And he's a damn good engineer too, when he wants to work. But other than that, he's also a really good producer.
Right.
And it was weird because, you know, everybody kind of had their own group of networks, including me. I probably had the biggest network. And so we all just collectively branched together, and now everybody
made an ecosystem.
Yeah, dude, it's huge. There's a whole community at the Box Studios. It's unlike any other studio that I've ever been. I mean, I've been to a lot of studios. I worked with a lot of engineers from different states, different places. What we offer is completely unique because it's completely tailored for whoever comes through. And you know, you want something custom made, cool. Okay, let's figure out how you're feeling for today. Did you just break up with somebody? Did you just, you know, get out of jail? Are you sad today? Are you happy today? Or what are we feeling?
Right. It's not that like I don't want to say dry. No disrespect to other studios, but it's not that
dry old engineer guy that's just sitting there who's getting paid for the time. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Let's load up Pro Tools. You got a beat. No, okay. Here's what I charge for beats. Boom. Engineer, mix, master.
It's very stale. This is like, it's a friendship.
Very personal.
Very, very intimate. Very personal.
I like that, man.
Yeah, we get a lot of people that are just starting music, and that's their first experience, and they don't go anywhere else because they go to other studios and they're like, "What the fuck is this? Like, this shit is ass." Like, like Telescape was over here just trying to, you know, get me as comfortable as possible, you know, and giving me like ideas of what I should do and helping me write and giving me, you know, feedback and maybe asking we should try this take instead of doing this, and like actually came out really good. First, the other engineers just like kind of falling asleep while he's recording. You know
well, you know what, man? Like, how does it feel to know that moment, that LSD moment, or after that LSD moment, led to you making a whole ecosystem where artists feel the need, not just artists feel like they want to record at only your studio, but you made somebody say, I'm not giving up anymore because of this space that you created. How does that feel for you?
Fulfilling.
Fulfilling. I like that.
I smile inside because of it. You know, sometimes it gets very dark for me. You know, I think we all have dark days, but I look back to moments like that, and it's the biggest things for me to keep going because I know I'm on the right path and I'm blessed by God. So I live through, I feel like, you know, I live through God, and, you know, everything, especially with music, it's all, you know, it's for everybody. It's therapy for me, but it's also relatable for everybody. You know, we're all vessels at the end of the day for something.
Right.
And my dad always instilled to me later on in life. He's like, look, I know I wasn't the best person for you when you're younger, but you always have to do the right thing with everybody. You can always, there's an opportunity to do the wrong thing. There's an opportunity to go clap that big booty bitch. Sometimes you shouldn't do it. It's not worth it. Sometimes.
I definitely shouldn't do it.
I think you're very yeah, don't do that. Hey, it's hell for you, bro.
I respect
your house
advice.
is gone.
I respect the advice though. Hey man, I really I appreciate getting to know you as an artist, getting to know you as a businessman. What's next for Vandal as a person? What's next? What do you want in life?
I want to be financially free. I want to be able to take care of my friends and my family. And I really want to be artistically free as well, meaning that I don't have any more constraints. You know, I'm not working with any more like distributors, or we're going through only Dawn Records at that point. Expanding our horizons, meaning that we open more studios in different places with the same talent, but more. And to the point where it gets to the point where like it's worldwide. You know, like we eventually plan to open a studio in Tokyo, and
that's fine.
Our third studio. Our third studio is going to be in San Francisco, and then we'll have one in LA. We're not really excited for LA because there's a lot of competition there, but we'll stand out some way. And then Tokyo. So that's kind of like the roadmap right now. And like I said, we're working on Studio 2 already. That has been a total experiment itself, and it worked. So now we know how to do everything correctly and replicate it. Now it's just talent acquisition. You know, we're trying to find people that are talented and are passionate about what they do, and they want to connect their network to the point where we have a whole network. I've been telling a lot of my clients like this, like from a business perspective and also from a friend perspective. I'm like, look, I want to start getting music from you and releasing it through me as your distributor. And that way I have everybody that works with me. You know, sometimes I have really talented artists that come through and they just don't have a lot of like fans. They don't have a lot of supporters. They don't get a lot of love on their posts. You know, they have like 1 or 2 comments. I'm like, look, bro, I'm going to change all that for you. I'm going to have all these people comment on you, on your posts. You know, you just have to do the same for them.
Yeah.
And I do that for you. I think I do that for Jordan. I do that for Solace. I do that for Gmo. And it's mutual.
Right.
It's respect. Because we know it's hard at the end of the day that
we got to support each other.
Artists support each other, and artists that do support each other can continue to support each other and help the algorithm show that we exist.
Right.
And I want to magnify that and amplify it and multiply it with more people involved. Because there's so many people that come to my site. I meet new people every other day now. And people always ask, like, who's the owner of the studio? And then I pop out on her. I'm like, hey, I'm the owner of the studio. Nice to meet you. Oh, yeah. And it's like, it's godfathering me in, like, into this rank and position. Or, like, I'm, like, supervising, like, this community now. And
it's made you the godfather is what you made.
It's made me the godfather. Yeah. So, but it's like, you know, like Spider-Man saying, with power comes responsibility, you know. And I want to be responsible for these people because I feel like a lot of them don't know what they're doing. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out.
Right.
But
you're further along your journey than most artists.
I'm just trying to help people. Yeah. I'm just trying to help people. I don't want nothing from them. I'm not seeking any financial gain. It's probably not really a lot anyway, but I think helping them will help me in the end, some way, shape, or form. Because a good act of kindness just comes back in return. You
of course, man. I really do appreciate you taking the time to stop by. You're a busy man.
I told you I wanted to come by, and I made time. I got confused because I was like, I put it on my calendar, and then I looked, it was a fucking Monday, and I'm like, shit, bro, that's a bad day. I'm busy that day.
The life of an entrepreneur, bro. I mean, I get it. I get it. Because I look, man, I film a lot of content. I know we were talking about that off camera. Obviously, you're busy building a second studio. You got artists you work with. It happens, bro. You know what I respect about you? And I want to make this a point for any artist listening, all right? Anybody listening, if something's important to you and you genuinely fucked up like your scheduling or whatever the case may be, you got to reach out and communicate to the person, right? Like Vandal reached out like, oh, bro, I got my days mixed up. Can we do the 14th? If I couldn't do the 14th, I had 2 options. Gmo said in his interview, don't burn bridges over pennies.
Yeah.
You're doing this off the strength of love, right? Yeah. I'm not charging you. You're not charging me. Yeah. So my thing is I could either say, man, fuck you. You don't respect my time, which would be weird because I don't know you enough to be mad at you. Or I could say, you know what?
I met you once before. I'd be like, okay.
Deuces, right? So I have that option. Or I say, you know what? The 14th doesn't work, but what about this day, this day, this day? If somebody really respects this craft and this space, they will make something work, bro. I'm a huge believer in that.
Look, we're here now. And no, I even have stuff planned right now. Like I was my girl, she's a model and she wanted me to come to her model show. I'm like, I can't. This is more important than you. I'm sorry. Don't take this the wrong way. I got love for you. I got love for no. It's okay. I would rather her prioritize what she's doing in life over me because no one needs to be like getting involved with what they're happy doing. You know what I'm saying? That's a good relationship. So
I respect that, bro. I respect that. Tell the people where they can follow you.
You follow me on Instagram at vandal.dondrako, on YouTube at Vandal, on TikTok vandal.dondrako, Twitter vandal.dondrako, or I guess X now. Sorry, I guess I used to say it. Yeah. I'm pretty much everywhere. On all DSP streaming platforms, it's just Vandal. You can look up any one of my songs; it'll be the first thing that pops up.
What if you could end this on one final note for the audience? What would you say to them?
Believe in yourself. When you're back against the wall, it doesn't matter. Just keep believing in yourself. If it's not over until it stops sucking.
Hell yeah.
And if it's still sucking, it's not over.
I respect you. Everybody, this has been Vandal Don Drako, a.k.a. Vandal.